awesome.
And you guys are very listening. She's like,
Did the properties. Welcome, my name is Rachelle Forrest. I'm the director of the Retail Action Project. And this is an annual festivity that we host and hold every year in honor of our poor members, retail workers, who have to start working as early as 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, forget about Black Friday. And we sort of use this day to sum up all that we dislike about rampant consumerism and capitalism all in one shot by targeting a few of its most, what would I call them, horrific faces, you know, the faces of rampant consumerism and unbridled capitalism. There you go, our poster children of capitalism, thank you. Normally we do it in a rally, a sort of short rally that takes about an hour, some quick hits, some quick bursts at a number of different targets. This year we have both our Tour of Shame rally, but we also had a number of members last year who birthed a new idea around not just making it protest, but actually setting up something that's an alternative to what's out there. And so we have a number of allies and retail workers who produce their own things, from music to spray paint art to scarves and jewelry and bags, and we're gonna host an alternative Black Friday market for them to sell what they make, so that we can encourage some of the shoppers out there on the street not to go to Macy's or Target or the Manhattan Mall, but to come over to this market and meet some people and actually participate in building community and put their dollars in a small business or an individual retail worker's pocket as opposed to a big box store. So another important thing to be able to point out is that in addition to myself and Adam, there'll be a number of other people in these lovely vests right here that look like traffic flagger or track worker flagger. Ryan has one on. Garrett, can you hold yours up? Garrett, Diego, there'll be a handful of other folks who are in those vests. Our job in this getup is to police the police, right? And I want all of us to be very clear about that. We're not here to police our people. We're here to police the police. We're here to set up a perimeter between us and law enforcement, but not just law enforcement, right? Because the tone of what things look like in this country is very different than what we're used to from the past few years. Where last year Trump had just gotten into office, now this year he's had a full year to be in there. And there are many people out there who just let their bigot flags fly, who are racist, who are anti-LGBTQ, who don't want to see things like this happen. So we're not just here to be able to deal with police, but to be able to deal with annoyed, aggressive, tourists and bystander on the street who might see that they have the right to go ahead and enter our space and say something or do something that counters what we're doing out there.
All right, so we all know why we're here today. We're here to serve as a voice for the retail worker. 1 out of 4 people here in the United States work in retail. And so we've got a couple of targets that we're gonna hit. They're all in the area. The first one really needs no introduction. It's the e-commerce behemoth known as Amazon. They are taking away 15 million retail jobs with their e-commerce platform. At least they're projected to. These guys don't offer any benefits. They pay 9% less than the average retailer, and amongst other egregious, awful practices. Followed by Forever 21. They're known for sweatshop conditions. They're underpaying workers, and they also pay workers by the amount of garments that they make. So we're talking about 12 cents for a vest that costs $13.80. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So after Amazon, it's literally just going on that straight block on 34th Street, and Forever 21 will be on that same block.
After that, we're going to hit Victoria's Secret, which in Burkina Faso, they are forcing child labor for children to pick cotton. They've got sweatshop-like conditions here in the USA and abroad, and they also use prison labor.
Yes, and that will be right across the street from Forever 21.
After you guys like finish taking the streets, tearing it up and yelling at all of these naughty employers, we do want everyone to stop by the the alternative Black Friday market. But also there's a very special action happening We are currently trying to negotiate a contract for workers at the Pleasure Chest, which is an adult toy shop store. And right now we're, in battles and contract negotiations, and there's some things that the workers feel are really that are really unfair, they're really amped up, they're very angry, so they've decided to go on strike today. So after you guys shop at the alternative Black Friday market, we really, really would appreciate it if some of those bodies can go to either one of the 2 locations. There's one at the West Village. I'll give everyone the addresses at some point before you leave or when you come back. And there's another one at the Upper East Side. We're all going to be there by 2 o'clock, but we want to encourage everyone to go to the market first. And if you decide afterwards that you have the energy and want to come support some workers on strike, we will definitely appreciate it.
All right. If you can hear me, make some noise. If you can hear me, make some noise.
We got the power. Worker power. We got power. Worker power.
I'm part of the Retail Action Project.
Yeah!
And me myself have been an ex-retail worker years back, and I know what it is to work in retail and the harsh conditions they give us. So, Forever 21 is known as one of the fast fashion, cheap and affordable top clothing stores. But is it really one of the best working environments?
No!
Worker-like conditions in the U.S. and abroad, where workers are dealing with conditions that are 10 times more intense than our average sales associates. LA factories are underpaid and forcing workers to work over 10 hours per day with no overtime. It should be against the law to overwork any employee that way. And it is. There are many stories of workers losing sleep and time with their families over the holidays, just so they can come into work and not even be compensated for the work they have done. There is workers not even getting paid the minimum wage, getting paid 12 cents to create vests which are sold for $13.80. We also have workers getting injured and having to pay out of pockets because the company won't provide health benefits for their employees. Why are we letting them treat us as prisoners? We are letting them treat us the same treatment as prisoners having to deal with no benefits. Not to mention safety hazards, very low wages, and even lose privileges just so they can sell their products. We need Forever 21 to stop adding harsh conditions of those manufacturing the clothes and to start finding new ways to produce their products.
That's right.
Without hurting workers in the process, as well as treating their associates with respect. There are many workers out here who are afraid to speak because they are afraid of losing their jobs. Us as workers have to stay united and help each other fight for what is right and not let them step all over us.
Victoria's Secret! Victoria's Secret is very familiar with us, and we've had battles within the past. They continue to perform bad retail practices, and they are far from being a high road retailer. But not only are the conditions difficult on the sales floor, Victoria's Secret is also... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah!
It's also a part of encouraging harsh sweatshop labor overseas. These workers are primarily women and children that are being forced to create these garments that laying in this store. Lingerie that is made by fair trade cotton, picked by forced child labor. This is wrong.
It's not right.
We will not stand to watch these companies abuse our loved ones. What if this was your sister, your child? But we should not wait for it to be our own. So join me in demanding for Victoria's Secret to change their bad practices, no longer abuse people in creating these garments under these harsh circumstances. When retail workers are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back.
Urban Outfitters profit from the exploitation of workers, people of color, culture, and the environment. Urban Outfitters is part of the main company Urban, which also hosts Anthropology, Free People, and the online bridal store Beholden. UO mistreats their employees, underpays them with no overtime wages, demands free labor with no sufficient rest breaks, and no reimbursement for company expenses. A lawsuit was filed in 2013 and still no settlement until 2015, and this still remains an issue. In 2003, Urban Outfitters CEO Richard Haynes gave over $1,300 to Rick Santorum's anti-gay, anti-immigrant, anti-abortion, and pro-military campaign. Additionally, Urban Outfitters has a history of racist and bigoted products, such as stealing Navajo designs in which Navajo Nation received no justice. A racist anti-black board game they called Ghettopoly. And a number of anti-Semitic t-shirts using anti-Semitic phrases and Holocaust imagery. Urban Outfitters.
Yeah! Yeah, make some noise! Hey, hey!
who's done a lot of damage to our communities. For over 10 years, they've been investing in private prison companies, in detaining immigrants, and lobbying for anti-immigrant laws. They're also a big investor in the companies that are trying to build a wall between the U.S. and Mexico.
That's whack. That sucks.
And they've been involved in discriminatory and predatory loans and bonds, some of which are responsible for the Puerto Rican crisis. So I hear from Chase to demand that they divest and that they pay us up in reparations, because we demand reparations for all the damages they've done. And today, we stand here for our workers at the bank, workers in the retail, because we want New York to become a freedom city. We want freedom and dignity for all workers, for everyone here in New York. ¿Se puede? I didn't hear you. Y'all want freedom? ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. 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 Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? Worker power. Worker power. Worker power. On this day, November 24, 2017, we celebrate the day of corporate greed and corporate interest, where high corporation companies make a sufficient amount of profit and money at the expense of workers in the retail industry. We have heard time and time again of retail workers that have passed away because they finally opened the door. Black Friday is a way for corporate powers to get their hands on money that hardworking people earn, and for it's a way to make retail workers stressed out of their minds. They have to avoid people shoving and pushing each other because they want the latest iPhone and the latest VR headset. They have to deal with unmanageable amount of hours throughout the day and night in order to make the customer happy. They have to deal with their CEOs and supervisors yelling in their faces because they didn't do their own work or they did a mistake. But it's not only that. Do you know how they make the clothes that you are wearing? They are prisoners making the clothing for 10 cents an hour, and in foreign countries, women and children have to be in unsafe working conditions to stitch fabric for fashion designers to use and walk out on fashion shows. It's a monstrosity that people can turn a blind eye to what is happening, and what is happening is unacceptable.
Right, man.
So, well, today we are fighting back and telling corporations that we are here to fight for retail workers who deserve better. We are fighting for women and children in foreign countries that have to be economic slaves in order to make a cent. We are fighting for the lost ones of people that have to work in the retail industry because their stores had to open. We're here to fight this corporate holiday, and we're here to show that we don't back down.